Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another 2024 election prediction. This time we're covering the governor races or the gubernatorial races for the 2024 election. So it's a pretty simple map. There's a few open races here and there. Uh, Missouri, Indiana, West Virginia, New Hampshire. Chris Sununu is not running, so that definitely changes the race in New Hampshire by quite a bit, because if Sununu were to run for re-election, he would win by a safe Republican margin, no doubt. But he is not running. We also have a term with Democrat in North Carolina. It'll probably be a very competitive governor's race as well. And in Washington, we have a decently competitive race, believe it or not. So we're going to start off with the safer races, however. With the Republican incumbents here, these are going to be the first few safe states. Utah, North Dakota, Montana, not going to be really competitive at all. Same with Indiana. I highly doubt it really just gets competitive here. Again, you don't have a lot of... check out the candidates for the Democratic side. We do have a former Republican running. We saw a former Republican run in the Oklahoma governor's race before, and they made it a bit more competitive than usual, but it's Indiana. It's a presidential election year. I'm pretty much just doubting the ability of Democrats to even make this race somewhat competitive. I mean, we could take a look at the hypothetical. Even in the hypothetical polling with the Democratic pollster, it's still like Mike Braun's running away with it. And yeah, he's a U.S. Senator. Oh, yeah. Forgot that he was retiring from the Senate to run for the governor's race. But that would just make it safe Republican. Because, again, he has that name recognition advantage. He's definitely has a decent approval rating from Indiana as the senator. So, again, this is just a safe Republican race in Indiana. Highly doubt it gets competitive. West Virginia as well. There's no good Democrats running here. If Joe Manchin were to run, he would probably get it pretty competitive, but he declined to run. So, again, you don't really have a lot of good candidates on the Democratic side. And let's see if they even did polling here. No, they did not. It's just SAFR. Yeah, it's just straight up safe Republican unless, like, Joe Manchin runs. Then it would make it competitive, but safe Republican as well. Vermont, the incumbent Republican here. I'm pretty sure Phil Scott announced he is running for re-election. Let's just go ahead and check that, because he would have announced if he was stepping down already. Potentially. Still hasn't announced yet. Interesting. But I'm assuming he does announce he's running for re-election. So again, safe Republican here. Let's take a zoom out back. All right, in Delaware, we have a open race, but it's Delaware. It's a presidential election year. It's really not going to be competitive. Missouri as well. I'm pretty sure you actually have a pretty decent candidate running on the Republican side. Let's take a look. Yeah, Jay Ashcroft, Missouri Secretary of State. And he has a legacy here. His father was the governor of Missouri as well. Again, usually family dynasties in politics usually go up pretty well for governor races, so I also have this as a safe Republican state. So going over to Washington next, I just want to show you why I think it's going to be a bit more competitive than you would expect, because you actually have a pretty decent candidate on the Republican side. You have Dave Reithart. He was a former rep for Washington's 8th Congressional District. Let's just take a look at his electoral history, if it has that there. So, again, he's won by quite a bit of landslides here in Washington. So he definitely would have that name recognition advantage. I think he would do well with independent voters. And even in the polling in a one-on-one race, it's actually a decently competitive race. However, those undecideds are probably going to break for the Democrat because it's an election year. If there's an off-year election, Reithart would have a lot more of a chance. But for now, I'm going to be rating Washington as likely blue. It's possible those undecideds split evenly, and if that's the case, then the Democrats are in trouble at losing the Washington's governor race. But in an election year, Democratic turnout will be a lot higher, so they'll probably hold on to this state by about a likely blue margin for now. But there's an outside chance that this gets even more competitive, and it'll reckon as lean blue. But it just depends on the Republicans' polling lead. If it starts getting like to the 48% or 49, then I'll actually take it a lot more seriously and put this as a lean blue race. But for all intents and purposes, this is a likely blue state for now, but keep an eye on it. This is probably one of the competitive races. All right, going to New Hampshire, we have former Senator, let's try to remember her name here, Ayotte, I'm pretty sure. Let's just go ahead and check. But she lost, Kelly Ayotte, yeah. Again, if she's the nominee here, the Republicans have a good chance of actually holding on to this race here. Let's check the general election polling so far. Yeah, so far the Republicans actually have a narrowly decent lead, but there's a lot of undecideds here. And in an election year, and what is a likely blue state, I still think the Democrats have a narrow edge here. You look at these undecideds, I probably would break for the Democrats, assuming Democratic turnout's a lot higher. But I would probably put it as a tilt blue prediction for now. I wouldn't blame people to put it as tilt R or lean R. Kind of makes sense looking at the polling, but I'm looking at these undecideds here, which I think probably would trend Democratic because it is a likely blue state at this point, and Trump is probably going to lose New Hampshire by a likely blue margin. Definitely hurt Republicans down the ticket. So for now, I have New Hampshire as a tilt blue state. So a narrow flip in the Democratic governors. They get another seat here. In North Carolina, I also expect to be a very competitive race. You have decent candidates on both sides. However, I really don't think Mark Robinson is the best candidate. I mean, you could run someone else here. Maybe the treasurer would be a better pick for the governor's race here. Again, Mark Robinson, he has a lot of political scandals of a lot of pretty right-wing positions here, so he wouldn't do the best with independent voters, I believe. But let's check out the general election polling. So far, polls are a mix of everything here. Robinson, some polls he has a lead. There's a lot of undecideds here. Josh Stein, I'm pretty sure he is the Secretary of State. No, North Carolina Attorney General. So, again, that's a pretty high position to hold in North Carolina. Definitely give him a lot of name recognition here. And we have Mark Robinson, the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina. So, this will definitely be one of the more competitive races, but I just think with a lot of Mark Robinson's opinions in politics, it'll probably drag him down a bit here. But again, there's a lot of independents here that are just undecided that I could see just going to Josh Stein because he has a bit of a cleaner record here in North Carolina. And also the popularity of the former Democratic governor would probably translate well for Josh Stein. So again, I'm probably going to put this race as tilt blue for now. But it could go either way here, but I still think the Democrats have a narrow advantage regardless of them being a bit more down the polling in North Carolina. There's a lot of undecideds that I see probably going to them in that scenario. So other than that, the only change on this governor's map is New Hampshire flips blue. So Democrats get a few more governor mansion seats. Other than that, if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, I highly recommend doing so. And leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with this video and if you'd change any of the state's ratings here on the map. Alrighty, I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see ya.